Hello everyone, welcome to BPO Work Data Entry Service India. So here I'm going to explain how to fill the forms. So for the form filling process, we'll use some separate username password. We have to simply log in our official website. So once you log in, we'll get that working page like this. So always you will get some advertisement on the right side and left side you have the columns. So what are the informations you have to, the information is given in the right side form. Simply have to fill in the left side columns. That's your job. And while filling the forms, you'll get two kinds of record, that single record and multiple record. If form has only one requirement, that's single, and if a form has more than one requirement, that's multiple. And then that second thing is, while filling the forms, you'll get three variations of forms: job requirement, second one is that matrimonial, and third one is real estate. So these are the three variations you'll get while filling the forms. So the title you have to always start with first wanted. So wanted is the default for all the forms, and the current form is the job requirement, and this is the single record, because here they're asking only that one requirement. So here the requirement they're asking faculty. So here they're asking only one requirement, so you have to fill only once. So in case if asking faculty, manager, accountant, sales executive like this, if asking more than one requirement, you have to fill all the requirements individually in a separate form. So as I told already, the title you have to always start with wanted first. Next you have to fill for the requirement. So here the requirement asking faculty. So the title you have to type always should be in caps, and compulsory you have to ignore the special characters. And then in case your form has any short form, you have to use the same short form. Just like they mentioned team leader as TL and assistant manager as assist. So like that, if asking if mentioned any short form, you have to use that same short form, but the title should be always in caps. Then category. That category you have to select whatever given in the title. So the title you have given faculty. So first you have to check in the alphabetical series. If it's available in that list, you can select. So in case if it's not available, you have to check till end. So sometimes you'll get the requirement in the last also. So you have to check till end while checking that category. So in the drop down. So in case if that exact requirement is not available in the drop down, compulsory you have to select that related or relevant to the requirement. And then description, simply copy the title and paste it here and just give enter. So enter use only in the description column, not in other columns, because if you use enter by mistake in other columns, the form will get submit. So just to have to use only the tab for rest of the columns, use enter only the description. So after given the title in the description, next we have to type only about that salary, experience, qualification, knowledge, job and company profiles. So if a form has any of those kinds of details on your right side, you have to simply type in the left side column. So about that salary, experience, qualification, knowledge, job and company profiles. So if form has any of those kinds of details, you have to type that same as it is, follow the uppercase, lowercase, and compulsory you have to ignore the special characters. So in that form here that mentioned, so here they're asking for maths and physics, part-time, full-time. So just they mention that salary also. We have to type that same, follow the uppercase, lowercase. So ignore the characters. The same way. Simply type what I mentioned the right side, just check and type. Fine. So like this you have to type, follow the uppercase, lowercase, ignore the special characters. No need to use any special characters. So in case if mention any degree details or percentage, you can use that degree and percentage. So these things only you can able to use the special characters. Apart that, no need to use any characters. Simply have to ignore space. You have to ignore that and give a space. And then so in case your form hasn't any those kinds of description, so you won't get all the details in all the forms. So sometimes you'll get only the requirement. So sometimes you won't get the description in that form. If form hasn't any those kinds of description details, compulsory you have to type yourself by one minimum 3 lines related to the requirement, the title. So just simply type by yourself minimum 3 lines related to the requirement, and whenever typing the description by yourself, use only the random things. Don't give any exact information about that salary or experience or qualification. Just give only the random things, minimum 3 lines. And then walk in. That walk in means that interview timing. So if form has any exact date and time for that interview, when we have to come for that interview, or else when we make a call for that interview, if mention any exact date and time for that interview on the right side form, simply select walk-in yes. If not mentioned, select walk-in no. We have to check that form. So here that mentioned between 9 a.m. and 12 noon on 29th September. For example, so if that form has any those kinds of date and time for that interview like this, you can select walk-in yes. Why? Because here the not mention any exact year. So if mention any past year timing for that interview, select walk-in no, because that past year is invalid. If you get any past year timing, select walk-in no. But here in that form they not mention any year, so you consider in that coming year and just select here walk-in yes. Next, that company name. So that company, if mentioned any the concern name in that form, type that company name also should be in caps. So remind one thing, so whenever filling the form you have to use both title, company name. These two columns should be always in caps. So here that mentioned that company name also, so Tapestry Academy. So you have to type that company name also should be in caps. Should be always in caps. So title, company name should be always in caps. And then, so in case if that column is not mentioned on the right side form, you have to simply type nil. So don't leave any column blank, simply type nil if that exact column is not available on the right side form, but the nil also should be in caps. But here that mentioned that concern name, that company name, you have to type that company name should be in caps as well. Next, contact person. So that contact person name is that particular person's name whom we have to contact for that interview. So if mention any person's name, you have to type that exact person's name the same as it is. So if mention any person's name here, for example, if mention that person's name Ramya, you have to type that person's name Ramya. If mention any Ramya here, you have to type that same as it is. Follow the uppercase, lowercase. So in case if not mention any person's name, simply type nil. So don't type any other apart that person's name. Just type only that person's name if it's available, or else simply type nil. And the designation, the designation belongs to only that contact person, that interviewers, the recruiter's designation. So if mentioned any that contact person designation, just like HR or manager or general manager, type the same, or else simply type nil. Then address, if mentioned any address, you can type that same as it is, or else simply type nil. So here that mentions some address, so you have to type that address. So that plot number, follow the uppercase, lowercase, ignore the special characters. And then while typing the address, in case if form has any pin code number, don't give any pin code number in the address column. We have to type only till city. So even if mention any pin code number in that form, type only till city. So don't use pin code number in the address column. The pin code number you have to use only in the zip code. So the address you have to type only till city. So if not mentioned, we have to simply type nil. Then state and city. So state and city, if mention any particular city in that form, you can select that city. So here that already mentioned Hyderabad. So you have to select that city, state, Telangana. Select the city Hyderabad. If form has any city, we have to type that particular city, state and city. In case if not mention any city in that form, we have to select the city always from the publisher. If city is available in that form, you can select that city, state and city. If city is not mentioned anything in that form, select from the publisher simply. So in case if you don't know that exact city, state, you have to check that state in Google and select that state here. If you don't know about that, give an exact city. And then zip code. The zip code means area pin code number. So as I told already, if form has any pin code number, type that area pin code number the same as it is. So in case if not mentioned any pin code number, you have to simply type 0. Don't type nil, because the numeric column, it will accept only that numeric. It won't accept that alphabets or special characters. Just type only that numeric. So sometimes you'll get the 2-digit pin code number, or else they mention some full pin code number. If form has 2-digit, use only the same 2-digit. If mention that full pin code number, you have to use that same pin code number, or else you have to simply type 0. So here that mention the 2 digits, so just type that same. Then phone, that phone you have to type only that landline number. So don't type that mobile number in that phone column. That's phone only for that landline. We have to check that form. If form has any exact landline number, type that landline number, or else simply type 0. So don't type that mobile number in that phone column. Then mobile column, type only that mobile number, or else type simply 0. We have to check again once if form has any mobile number. So if form has any mobile number, type the mobile number or else type 0. Don't type the landline number. So that phone only for that landline, mobile only for that mobile number. At that same time, if form has more than one number, just for example, if you mention 3 landline numbers or 3 mobile numbers, just type only that first landline number and first mobile number. Because you can use only 10 digit in mobile column. You can't type more than 10 digit in mobile column. So just always use only that first landline number and first mobile number. So in case if that first number is not valid, you can use that secondary one. Then mail ID. If form has any particular mail ID, you have to type that mail ID as that same as it is from that image. If not mention anything, simply type nil. And website also the same. If it's available, you can type or else simply type nil. So that characters you can use only for the degree, percentage, mail website. These things only have to use the special characters. Degree, percentage, mail website, you can able to use special characters. The rest of the columns compulsory have to ignore. Just give only a single space. And then multiple records. So multiple records, here you have to select no, because here they're asking only one requirement. So you have to fill that form. So just in case if asking more than one requirement, for example, if asking 3 requirements in that same form, you have to select here multiple record years, because you have to fill all the requirements. So select here multiple record years. So whenever selected that multiple record years, once you given that submit, you will get that same form that second time like this. If you selected multiple record years, after given the submit, you will get that same form in that second time like this. But second time you always get only the 5 columns. You have to fill only these 5 columns from that second requirement. So when you filling the last requirement, select multiple record no and submit will get the new form. So whenever you fill the last requirement, select here multiple record no and submit will get the new form. And then last date we have to type always nil, because you won't get any last date in any forms. You have to simply type nil. So this is the default for all the forms. So these are the procedures you have to follow while fill the forms, and just click submit. You will get the new form. And this is for the job requirement. And then second is for that matrimonial. So if you get any matrimonial forms, they mention some details about that bride or groom. So they mention some details about that bride or groom. So their graduation, that family background, their earnings, business. So like that they mention some details about that bride and groom. So in the bride and groom you have to check the requirement what they are asking exactly. For example, if mention the details about that bride, if looking for that groom. Okay, if mention the details about the bride, if looking for that groom, you have to use the title wanted groom. So sometimes they mention the details about that groom. If looking for that bride, you have to use the title wanted bride. So for that matrimonial, you have to check the requirement what they are asking exactly, either bride or groom. You have to give the title depends on the requirement only. You have to check that form on your right side what they are asking exactly and give the title depends on the requirement. So either bride or groom. Next, that category you can select depends on the title always. If mention the title bride, select that category also bride. So in case if mention the title groom, select that category also groom. And description that same. You have to simply copy the title and paste it here always and just give enter and type the details about the bride or groom, whatever mentioned on the right side. You have to simply take the details and follow the uppercase, lowercase, ignore the special characters. So and fill that other column if it's available, or else you have to simply type nil and select here multiple record no and submit will get the new form, because the job requirement only, that multiple records will get only for the job requirement. So you won't get any multiple records for the matrimonial and real estate. So you have to select always no for that whenever fill that matrimonial and real estate. So this is for the matrimonial. And then third one is the real estate. So if you get any real estate form, so they mention some details about that bride or groom. So they mention the details about that flat, just like about that square feet, HBK, floor. So how many floors in that flat and what's the cost of the flat and what are the facilities around that flat. So like that they mention some details about that flat details. You have to check that form. So if mention the flat details for sale in that form, you have to use the title wanted flat for sale. If mention the details for sale, you have to use the wanted flat for sale. So in case if mention the details for rent, you have to use the wanted flat for rent. And in case if mention the details for lease, we have to use the wanted flat for lease. So these are the title you have to use for that real estate. So the real estate you have to check that form. So what kind of details they mention on the right side, you have to give the detail depends on that form. Either the flat is sale or rent or lease. So sometimes they mention some details about that flat. So if not mentioned any those kinds of if the flat is sale or rent or lease, in case if not mentioned either the flat is sale or rent or lease, give the random flat for sale. Then that category always depends on the title. So just if mention the title wanted flat for rent, select that category also rent. And in case if mention the title wanted flat for sale, select that category also sales. And in case if mention the title wanted flat for lease, we have to use the title category wanted lease. So these are the category you have to select depends on the title. Then description, that same. You have to copy the title and paste it here and just give enter and type the details about that flat. So whatever mentioned on the right side, you have to simply type the same as it is, follow the uppercase, lowercase, ignore the special characters and fill that other column if it's available, or else you have to simply type nil and select here multiple record now and submit to get the new form. So these are the three variations of forms you have to fill while do that process. At that same time, while filling the forms, you can't fill all the forms. Sometimes, okay, if that form hasn't any proper information, or else if you don't want to fill that form, if you can't understand that forms, so if you want to skip that, just type error in title and no need to fill other columns. Just select here multiple record no and submit will get the new form. So you can skip that form if you don't want to fill that like this. So if you don't want to fill the form, you can skip that form like this by using this error. So we have to fill only like this. So these are the instructions you have to follow while filling the forms. So just do the process better, and just thanks for your time to watch this video.